About 5 years ago, I actually moved into the King Lincoln area, and I absolutely love it. Wow, that would be a beautiful space for, a store. Because my mom has always said that she always wanted to open up an antique shop. 6 months later, after moving into the King Lincoln area, just 5 blocks away, I found out that she had stage 4 melanoma cancer. And so I traveled back and forth to Philly, which is where I grew up, and it became difficult for me because I had a cleaning business prior to this, but I had flexibility, so I was able to do that. But when the winter came, it became more difficult to travel back and forth. And we were talking a lot during those trips, 8-hour trips back and forth, and she expressed how much she wanted, a store, and I said, I like home decor. I love working in the garden. That would be an awesome place, to start a home decor and garden shop. And I noticed that in this area, we don't have like garden stores here. You have to go outside of Columbus to find a garden store, and I thought with this, neighborhood developing, this is a great spot to just start this home decor and garden store. My goal is to have a garden store, an outdoor, area close by, if not right around here, to sell things, planters and, things like that, which is another love for me. I love to decorate even the outdoors too. So I get these big planters and then I do the whole plants and stuff in it. And I've always gotten compliments on it. I never thought anything of it, but even the customers come in here and they say, do you do, interior design or anything like that? And I'm like, no. And they're like, because it looks that way, And even my friends who have come to my house have said, and my house looks a lot like this. It has a lot of these things in here. I like things that are different. I like things that you don't see many places, so a lot of vendors that I deal with are able to get their, merchandise from Mexico or the Netherlands or just places like that. I'm still working on a lot more vendors, but so far I've been doing pretty well, with the vendors that I have right now. And I literally hand pick everything. I talk to like a salesperson, and I've also looked at magazines, current magazines. I'm always looking to see what's current, what's in style, things like that, the colors and all of that. But I try to keep a lot of things that are like a staple, that you can use year after year. Doesn't matter if it's February or, June or, December. You could still have that, and one of those things is, the faux flower stems that I have here. You could easily arrange them in a vase or a container of some sort, some type of vessel, and it would just look beautiful. You can have it in a guest room, that you don't have to go in constantly and water your plants, and they look great. It's a very nice faux flower stem.
It's awesome to hear you say something, the way you described it, and putting it in a vessel. That's not just a word, but it's a lifestyle, putting things within vessels that can allow them to grow and be the full of themselves. The interesting thing though, you said something about hand picking, and it seems like you do that pretty well, not just in the space of the things that you buy, but you handpicked the King's Arts, the Bronzeville area to live, 5 blocks away. What caused you to even first handpick this area as an area that you wanted to stay in, coming from Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia, when I was 5 years old, I lived in a neighborhood that looked very much like King Lincoln. And that was a good memory for me, the house, was a brick house, and it had, the architecture and all of that. And when I saw this area, after my kids actually got into their 30s, I was missing the city life. Not that I, wanted to hang out or anything like that, but I missed the hustle and bustle kind of thing. The noise. It's different from when you live in the outskirts. You don't hear anything. You hear crickets. But it's a different vibe, and I wanted to, get back into it. And I kept coming into this neighborhood year after year after year for like 3 or 4 years, and it was developing. And then when I decided that I wanted to leave Grove City, which is where I was living before, I was there for 26 years, I said, that's where I want to go. And I looked for houses in Upper Arlington, all over the place, outside of the 270 circle, and I always ended up here. And even the house that I bought, once I gave him an offer, he said no. And I was upset, walked away, called me 3 weeks later to say,
come get your place.
Come back and let's talk about it. So it was meant to be. And the fact that I kept coming past here day after day, going to work, and I couldn't get this building out of my mind. And I had my son, who was working for a realtor at the time, contact the owner. And she said, sure, I'm storing things right now, but sure. And I came and saw the space, and I said, wow, I want this. This is where I want this store to be. And I brought my mom here, and she said, let's do it, So everything aligned perfectly.
Wow. The beautiful thing about that is it's not just your mom and having to deal with that. You officially registered around April 2021, and that was right after COVID year. And to go from COVID and businesses closing down, so many businesses closing down, and then having to put something into place, what caused you to say, you know what, other than your mom, that level of, let's do this. I can do this. I believe I can do this. And let's open up shop in the place where you said there's not a lot of stores look like this at all.
I've always been daring. I have a friend, she's been my friend for 40 years, and she said, you are the most daring person, I went to California in my 30s to, try an acting career.
Okay. Okay.
And then I quickly found out that I didn't want my kids to grow up without me, that they were most important. And so I came back and put that aside. And I'm actually glad that I did, because I was able to hone in on things that I actually love doing. I love making things look pretty. I've always loved to create things, I used to do crafty things when I was younger and sell, t-shirts, I used to sell cakes, so I would always, I had a cleaning business, and I also had a daycare center. So I've always been in business for myself, but this was totally different. I was actually going to get into a brick and mortar. It was harder to find vendors initially, because they want you to have a brick and mortar before you sign up as So I was stuck there. So what I found myself doing was, whenever I traveled to Philly, or whenever I traveled to Virginia, or wherever I went, on my way there, I would stop at different shops and just look for items that I could bring back to the store until I was able to find a vendor. And so, I picked up some pieces that were, vintage or different that we didn't have here in Ohio, and I brought them back. And the funny thing is, those were the first items that were sold here. It was a good feeling to know that something that I chose, that wasn't even supposed to be, was actually sold first. Yeah, so it was nice.
It gives you a chance to understand how beautiful the customer experience can be. And you've gotten a chance to have people come in here just for hugs.
Right.
What is that relationship like with your customers? And Yeah, has that relationship been like with your customers now that you are open and they know that you are here?
Yes. Every customer that comes through that door, I always greet, welcome to Lilly and Jayde. I ask them where they're coming from because I want to know more about my customers so that I can serve them better. I want my customers to be comfortable with me. I actually read something on social media that said, and I had no idea that this customer was, I spoke to her for a good 15 minutes, after she went through the shop. And she wrote something so sweet on social media. She said, "You must go to Lilly and Jayde. This is the nicest owner." And I'm like, oh, wow, that's so sweet. But I don't know. I like to interact with, people a lot. When I was dealing with, when I had my cleaning business, I was always dealing with customers. And then my customers would, tell their friends about me. And then I went from cleaning to doing their tile, doing their garden. Yes. I mean, I paint, I've done it all, for my customers when I was initially just supposed to, be servicing their house, as far as cleaning and everything. But I ended up doing a lot more for them. And we developed a friendship, and I became very close to my, customers. And it's just a natural thing for me to greet them and make them feel good because that's how I want to be treated when I go into a store. And it hasn't always been that way. I can still go into a home decor store and I will be ignored, and I don't want that feeling. I don't want my customers to ever feel that way. So yeah, and I enjoy coming into this store because of that, the interaction with my customers.
Do you feel as though that when they are leaving here, they take a piece of you and put it in their home?
Absolutely. They do. Their feedback is extremely important to me. And just before they leave the store, they're always saying things like, "I love this place. This is like a gift shop. I can come in here, I can buy something for my granddaughter, I can buy something for my sister, whoever. I have a little bit of everything for everybody." And all price points too. So it's a great store. I'm very proud of it. This is, my baby. And Lilly and Jayde is actually named after my mom and my granddaughter. And so I want, once I'm gone, I would love for my granddaughter to keep this going. When I brought my granddaughter in, she's 11. I brought her in. I was having a difficult time with the register, because I was new to that. The last time that I worked with a POS system was when I worked at the bank.
Because cleaning, you don't need a POS.
Exactly, you don't. So when I worked at the bank, about 35 years ago.
You're calling out your age a little bit.
Yeah, when I worked at the bank about 35 years ago. That was the last time I worked with a POS system. And so because kids are so savvy with the computers and iPads and stuff like that, I asked her, I said, come take a look. She got it within 45 seconds. I'm not kidding. She was like, okay, next. She was doing my inventory because you need two people. You need people to go through the boxes. Yeah. This is how much we have here. And she's putting the price. Okay, how much are we, going to put the price for this on? And then she would even say, no, I think we should do it for this. What? So she was already involved. I want her to be involved. And I get my mom involved too. Although she can't physically walk into the store, I have her do little things, for me, like tagging items or little signs or just whatever. Anything that I can find and my mom can do. She's really good with making flower arrangements too. So she might take some of those faux flower stems and put them together. She helped me make a wreath for Christmas. So there's a lot of different things that, my mom and my granddaughter helped me with. So I enjoy it.
It is beautiful to hear just the essence of you have a level of past and future combined together in one name, in one building, and they both actively are working in this space. That's like that's very intentional, knowing that you have a garden, so you are very intentional about a lot of the things that you are doing right now. It's beautiful to hear.
Thank you.
With with an operating business in a city that is growing, there are some challenges.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, big challenges.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then a 24-hour also caretaker. There are some challenges. What were some of those? What are some of the active challenges that you are combating?
Okay. Initially, the biggest challenge was, like I said before, opening up the store because I was concerned with being able to juggle, you know, the boutique and caring for my mom.
Yeah.
And I had customers come in here or actually knock on a door way before I even opened up my doors to say, hey, how's it going? Do you know when you're going to open? They would knock on the door and say, when are you going to open? We're so excited that you're here. And so that was not, but you know, I kept telling them, well, my mom, they said, your mom comes first. You only get one mom. And so I focused on her. And once I got her together to the point where I thought that I can, you know, juggle that, because I literally can get home in a minute and a half. So I put a sign on the door. I'll be right back. You know, call me if you need me. I run over there, run back, and I can continue on. One of the other challenges is that getting people from outside of this area to come into the store. With my cleaning business, it was word of mouth. You know, I had my cleaning business for about 22 years, and it was all word of mouth. I think I had to advertise maybe the first 2 months. After that, people were getting me in my business. My business grew because of the word of mouth, because they trusted me in their home, you know, because they enjoyed everything that I did for them. Because at the end, I ended up doing, you know, I ended up doing caregiving to my customers, you know, that were elderly. You know, so I became very close with my customers and did things, you know, for them that I never thought. But I believe that all that happened for a reason. And it was because I was eventually going to be taking care of my mom. So I was being, groomed. Yeah, I was being groomed for what was happening with my mom. And when I thought about that,
Wow.
That's exactly what I said. Wow.
Wow.
Amazing.
I got chills because hearing a person that is a planter and grower being groomed for something that they eventually have to do, that is beautiful within itself. So then getting people here, that was a challenge. Why was it such a challenge to get people? Why do you think it was a challenge to get people down to this area of town? First
of all, I'm not so great at the whole social media. My kids are, and my granddaughter are good at that. And they have helped me since the beginning. But initially, I wasn't sure how to do it because, unfortunately, I didn't get loans, or no, it's actually a good thing that I didn't get outside loans and everything. Everything was, you know, I did it myself. You know, I planned for it for the 2.5 years that I worked on this place. I planned on how I was going to get, you know, my items. That was a challenge in itself because I had to be in here and then, you know, contact those vendors and say, hey, I have a brick and mortar shop, you know. But I learned through my kids and my granddaughter and friends. Actually, there have been customers who have come in here that have interior design businesses and stores that have come in here and given me ideas on where to post, you know, how to do it. And they've also said, you've been doing a great job, you know, with your marketing. So that to me gives me a boost in my confidence, you know, that I am in the, you know, going in the right direction, you know. So I'm still working on it, you know, but my customers have a lot to do with, you know, where I'm posting and things like that. I had a lady who lived here. She moved to California. She actually has those, makes those KLD Vibe candles. And she was amazing at getting my name out there. She put me on Facebook, She let everybody she came in contact with through her, photography business that I was here. And everyone that came through that door, 80% of those people mentioned her name.
Isn't it crazy that's just like it was in other businesses, that your name and your work ethic and the things that you already do cause people to be like, no, I gotta go and see her.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pretty awesome thing.
It is.
Now you've gone over your challenges. You got some hurdles that you looking to get over. You're not afraid of them now. You've opened. You're continuing to grow. What are some of the aspirations that you have for Lilly and Jayde?
A garden space to sell small trees, pottery, big pottery, beautiful, unique pottery, plants. I want this neighborhood to be beautiful. I want to see flowers in the spring and the summer. I want it to be alive, not just with the people that are in it, but with the plants and the flowers and things like that. It's just a great feeling to come in here. I love it when I see the businesses, the owners go in and we're just like, oh, hey, Nardi, hey, Aaron. I love that feeling. I love that we support each other. We're constantly working with each other and tagging each other on social media, so that their customers get to know me and mine get to know them and all that. So it's really nice. We're planning on a lot of different things, for this neighborhood, because we all live here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, we want to invest in this neighborhood. So.
You planted a seed in. You planted a seed in the community. Did it on your own. You've gone, you also are looking for it to grow. There are young entrepreneurs that are looking to get their footing in some space, in something. What would be your advice for them?
My advice would be, do your homework, and no matter what, just do it. Don't overthink it, just do it. There's going to be some, hurdles, there's going to be some issues that might come up, but go with the flow. Don't give up.
You've had a lot of people come in and show you love. Just by even showing up, coming in and bringing in other individuals just so that they can hug you, going out and spreading your name in spaces just because of how amazing you've been to them. If there's something that you can tell those individuals and your customers, what would you want to say?
I would like to tell everyone that I have come in contact with to spread love. I even have a frame that says, something about scatter, love. It's important. There's so much going on in this city as well as other cities. If we had more love, if people were to embrace, other people, of different cultures or what have you, this would be a better place, Just don't be afraid to say hello to somebody, even if you don't know them. Good morning, good afternoon, how are you? You never know what someone's going through. And so I think that a lot of people that have come in here, I've heard a lot of their stories, and they apparently feel comfortable in sharing those stories with me. And they come from 45 minutes away, some from Springfield, some from Dayton, or, people have traveled, from Cleveland, maybe visiting, their family and things like that. And they stumble across my store and they tell me, their stories about, maybe, they have cancer or something like that. And they have so much life in them. And to me, for them to share their story, that makes me feel good because I could take that home with me. Every story that I hear has an impact on my life, because I'm taking care of my mom, because the cancer that she does have, life, isn't promised, you know what I mean? Tomorrow isn't promised. And so we're just trying to live, as best we can.
How has that been reflected on how you live now? From when you knew that the cancer was there, did that shift anything in the way that you live life?
It sure did. I have been known to procrastinate. I'm probably one of the biggest procrastinators. I mean, I'm daring, but at the same time, when I get a little overwhelmed, I might procrastinate a little bit or, feel like I'm going in circles. And so, I always wanted to open up, a shop of some sort. I just didn't know exactly what it was. I knew that eventually one day I would have a garden center. But bringing in the whole home decor, because I had so many people tell me how well I decorate my house or the yard or whatever, I got so many compliments in the past that I threw that in there. So, yeah, the moment that I found out that my mom was sick, I said, I'm going to live. I'm going to live life, and I don't care how afraid I am. I'm just going to do it. And here I am.
Well, I appreciate your time spending with us and detailing this beautiful space that you have. We would love to come back and do this again whenever you get a chance.
Yes, I would like that. Thank you.
Thank you.